Us on today's edition of Prime Flash on My Media Prime Television. With me, Audrey, Zatza. Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanganji has revealed that most cases received from Limbe at his ministerial department are issues involving land grabbing issues. He was speaking recently during a consultative meeting with the Limbe City Council. We'll have details of this report in our subsequent editions of the news. The sales of basic commodities at official prices is currently ongoing at the Mfundi Divisional Delegation of Trade. The first phase of sales, which began yesterday, June 13, has seen hundreds of people assembling at the premises of the Delegation of Trade to buy these basic commodities currently sold in markets at exorbitant prices. This activity is expected to run till Friday, June 17, 2022. The population of Limbe Chiefdom has started a new week with their paramount ruler stating that it is a new page in history for the throne. Exactly, His Royal Highness John Elufa Manga Williams received the staff of leadership over the weekend, as Emmanuel C. tells us.
17 years of taunts, hoes and disagreements on who is right and fit for the throne of Limbe. The fights, court cases and injunction orders have all come to an end as Chief John Elufa Manga Williams, who received powers from the Atlantic Ocean, has been presented to the entire population as the paramount ruler of Limbe Chiefdom. Graced in a colorful event attended by over 4 ministers, traditional rulers and traditional dance groups, Chief Samuel Opupa of Dikolo village gave him the traditional staff of leadership. The elephants from the mountain all attended to welcome the new king. Noting that it is the second coronation and the first of a paramount ruler that Chief Dr. Robert Isukambela Endeli, paramount ruler of Boya, is attending since his coronation, his entrance was powerful. The traditional rulers of Limbe called on the population to work hand in gloves with the new paramount ruler for a better tomorrow.
Limbe can now think ahead. Limbe can now rekindle the flame of our cultural heritage.
Every son and daughter of this great city, which was called Victoria, now Limbe, should come on board and join the paramount ruler to rekindle the light of Limbe that was lost.
In the meantime, the paramount ruler of Limbe, grandson of Chief John Nambeke Manga Williams of blessed memory, called on all and sundry to help him achieve his vision for Limbe Chiefdom, as he noted that Limbe in the days ahead will soon have a befitting museum and a multipurpose center.
The people of Wazo village in Angem Menchum division of the northwest region of Cameroon are still rejoicing after the release of their phone, His Royal Highness Nsah Joseph Ndo. He was relieved after spending 26 days in the hands of his abductors. Fon Quinta has details.
Nsah Joseph Ndo, who is currently receiving medical attention at the Womb District Hospital, was released Sunday, June 12, 2022 by his kidnappers, believed to be alleged separatist fighters under circumstances yet to be made known. After spending 26 days in captivity, the fawn, who is now free, narrates how he was picked up.
When I was in the country, was when I was about to go to Pakistan Street, the Kenyans were landing. They were strong of them. I told them I tried to resist.
He Hearing of his release, the divisional officer of Womb Subdivision, Gore Godfrey, rushed to the Womb District Hospital to encourage the release fund and also call on the population to work in synergy with authorities. A sad experience for the fund, whom Nsah shows traces of torture he received. Worth noting is the fact that Fonchia Joseph Nsah was picked up on May 16, 2022 in his palace in Wazo Menchum Division of the Northwest region.
A native doctor is suspected of having raped 2 teenage girls in Bodmakak, a locality in the Nsah region of the country. The girls reportedly visited the native doctor to help them succeed in their exams before the incident. Nicole Taco recounts.
2 teenage girls are undergoing treatment at a hospital in Bodmakak in the Nyong and Kele Division, Nsah region of Cameroon, after they were drugged and assaulted by a native doctor. The girls are said to have gone to the native doctor seeking spiritual help in order to excel in their baccalaureate exams. The native doctor convinced the girls that their success is being tampered by an evil spirit and needed to be casted out. The victims say they were given a liquid solution by the native doctor to drink, and after which they passed out. They were later on rushed to the hospital by their elder brother, who had personally brought them to the supposed native doctor. He is believed to have found them unconscious and completely naked at the place he had left them with the spiritualist. The culprit was immediately arrested and is currently undergoing investigation by the forces of law and order, as he pleads for innocence to the allegation. Meanwhile, the teenage girls have regained consciousness and are responding to treatment.
We now talk about albinism, a congenital disorder, following the commemoration of World Albinism Day, which took place on June 13. Some persons living with the congenital disorder in Cameroon have been raising awareness while sharing the challenges they face in the society. Dolin Gonde tells us more.
United in making our voices heard. This is the theme for this year's edition of the International Albinism Awareness Day. The theme, which celebrates the efforts to amplify the voices working for people with albinism, is also geared towards highlighting the work done so far for the people with albinism. And Mrs. Oneme Marjorie is one of such persons who now spells out the major problems albinos face in our context.
The major problems albinos have are discrimination and stigmatization, and some albinos are battling depression and low self-esteem. Basically, that's the problem we have.
Every June 13th is observed as the IAAD since December 18th, 2014, when this was laid down by the United Nations General Assembly, and to that effect, Madame Oneme, through her foundation, has been able to set the record straight.
For OAM, this is our first outing on our own, so this is a big deal for us. Today we just want to educate the public on albinism. Prior to this day, we've been having campaigns online to clear albinism, because I realized that the society were asking questions. I realized that they were myths passed down from generations to generations, and I realized that there was this gap, this knowledge gap, and this void that needed to be filled. And so that's what we're trying to do with each campaign, with each post, with each picture.
In a world where bullying and marginalization have taken the order of the day, albinos are ever more encouraged to brave the odds and make their voices heard.
Her eye was already eaten up by skin.
And out of the country, the Court of Appeal in London has rejected an appeal by immigration rights advocates and public employee unions that sought injunction to temporarily block deportation rights of flights which are scheduled to begin this Tuesday. Raza Hussein, one of the lawyers for the migrants, had reportedly argued that the government's plan involved the forced removal of asylum seekers to a country they don't want to travel to, as part of a policy intended to deter others from trying to enter Britain. Activists said to be challenging the deportations on a person-by-person basis, seeking to ensure that no migrants will be eligible for deportation, even if flights are allowed to go ahead. That was it for today's edition of Prime Flash, produced by Elvis Modika, with the technical assistance of Chinda Romeo. Thanks for watching, faithful viewers. You have more stories on 3:30 p.m. Prime Info with Gladys Bomotongina, and 6:30 p.m. Prime News with Fon Quinta. Coming up next is The Brief with Lasha Kingsley and Gladys Bomotongina. Have a nice time.